Because 6 months on the radio was all the FCC and his parole officer would allow, this is the Walt Bonetti Podcast. God help us all.
Welcome to episode 50 of the Walt Bonetti Podcast for April 16th. The Walt Bonetti Podcast is brought to you by our friends at the Original Italian Pie of Kenner. You can dine in at 3600 Williams Boulevard, just a little bit north of West Esplanade, or you can call them 469-4999 and they have your order ready for pickup, or they will deliver to your home or your office. On today's podcast, woohoo! A new key to the city for the city of New Orleans. A Good Samaritan is shot and killed after paying for folks to eat at Waffle House. A love story that could only happen in Marrero. And a woman does karate, her son gets nude, and their dog is a klepto. Only at Walmart. But first, these quick hits. Today is National Wear Your Pajamas to Work Day. I don't know who comes up with these things, but for me to wear pajamas to work, I would have to wear pajamas. Since it's much easier for me to do the show in the nude, I don't see the point. When is National Do Your Podcast Naked Day? I feel like celebrating. 5 weeks after he was suspended for not talking to university officials, LSU reinstated men's basketball coach Will Wade yesterday after he did speak to them. Finally. LSU athletic director Joe Oliva, who got a lot of heat for suspending Wade, issued a statement saying, quote, Coach Wade's explanations and clarifications offered during the meeting, absent actual evidence of misconduct, satisfy his contractual obligation to LSU. Accordingly, I've recommended that Coach Wade's suspension be lifted and that he should be allowed to resume his coaching responsibilities. So I'm confused. That wasn't Will Wade's voice on the wiretap suggesting that he could buy a player? What exactly is a strong-ass offer? Is this all about recruiting and saving face at LSU? Or has LSU completely lost their moral compass? Would you rather have a losing basketball program that graduates its student athletes, or a winner where you have one and done like they did this year, where you have so many players that are already opting out and leaving for the NBA? Are LSU fans so starved for a basketball winner that all the rules go out the window? Like I said, even with the reinstatement, I'm still confused. A woman was the victim of an armed robbery Sunday afternoon while sitting and waiting for a bus at a bus stop in New Orleans East. The armed robbery was committed at about 1:20 in the afternoon. According to the police report, the 25-year-old woman was at the bus stop when a man wearing a knit Saints cap and black jacket approached her from behind and placed a silver handgun at her side. The robber told the victim to hand over all her property, and the woman complied, and the man fled. What is our city coming to? When you're sitting there and you're waiting for a bus on a Sunday afternoon and you get robbed at gunpoint. How can people feel safe doing simple things, everyday life things? There's carjackings when you go to Walmart or when you go buy your groceries or even pump your gas. People hop in your car and steal it. And now you're robbed waiting for a bus. That's sad. Last week, New Orleans Mayor LaToya Cantrell unveiled a new key to the city. Quote, a key to our city should visually represent the unique beauty of our people and our culture. It should look like it could only have come from New Orleans, Cantrell said. Yes, the key to the city looks unique, but no, I couldn't tell you what it means. I couldn't tell you its symbolism. I know the artist has a reasoning for everything. They always do. You know, those creative types. But I can't tell you what it means. And I can't tell you that if you took that key and you put it in Miami and gave it out as the key to the city of Miami, or the key to the city of Houston, or the key to the city of Bozeman, Montana, that I could tell it was any different. But that's just me. I do, however, think that if the city of New Orleans is going to put out a press release about the key to the city, or about anything for that matter, that it should not have typos. Listen to this. Quote, an initial run of 1,000 copies of the key will be pressed and offered to Worth dignitaries. Worth dignitaries? What is that? Now, I know they meant worthy dignitaries, but shouldn't they have caught that? Shouldn't they use spell check or something like that before they put out a press release? I mean, come on, you are the city of New Orleans. But hey, I've been wrong before. Last week I commentated on Congressman Clay Higgins talking about principles and principalities regarding the 3 black churches that were burned. I questioned the use of principalities in that manner. Well, my friend Tony from Metairie, who was a frequent caller and always very knowledgeable, sent me an email listing many ways that the word principalities was used in the Bible. Okay, but I'm still saying that Clay Higgins is the dumbest congressman in Washington and is a walking embarrassment to the state of Louisiana. A Good Samaritan was shot and killed at a Gainesville, Florida Waffle House after paying for other customers' meals. Evidently, an argument ensued because one customer didn't have her meal paid for by the man. The argument led to a physical fight and then the shooting. 41-year-old Craig Brewer is dead after he paid for several meals, and he also handed out $20 bills to people. Ezekiel Hicks was arrested and charged with first-degree murder in the shooting. He was with the woman who was arguing because her meal wasn't paid for. Come on, people. It's Waffle House. All right? It's Waffle House. The guy was doing a good deed, trying to do a nice thing, trying to be a blessing, and you shoot him down because you don't get your meal for free? If I didn't know that happened in Gainesville, Florida, I would have thought it could have happened in New Orleans. Meanwhile, in Marrero, a woman was arrested after she was accused of using her ex-boyfriend's prosthetic leg to beat him after a breakup. Michelle Jackson, 58, was arrested and charged with aggravated battery. She is accused of attacking her ex-boyfriend, a 59-year-old man with whom she'd had an on and off relationship for about 6 years. The pair went to Jackson's Marrero home, began drinking gin, and at some point the man told Jackson that he wanted to break things off and start dating another woman. The man then went to sleep in a bedroom at Jackson's home. When he was woken at about 1 a.m. by one of Jackson's relatives, he had a large gash on his head and was covered in blood. Jackson later admitted that she used her former boyfriend's prosthetic leg and beat him with it. And the guy slept through it. Is that not unbelievable? Jackson fled after beating the man because she thought she killed him. But he was just asleep. And now this. I love food. And I love really good food. And I love eating at a restaurant and knowing that when I leave there, not only am I going to be full, but I'm going to be full because I ate really good food. And that's what happens every time you go to the Original Italian Pie of Kenner. They're at 3600 Williams Boulevard, just a little bit north of West Esplanade. You can dine in or call them, 469-4999, and they'll have your order ready for pickup, or they will deliver it to your home or your office. That's what I did this weekend. I had a friend over on Sunday. We got a couple of pizzas, one of them a combination pizza for me because I love a lot of toppings and a lot of meat. And she got a vegetarian pizza with all kind of stuff. Artichoke hearts, feta cheese, roasted garlic, tomatoes, things I don't even remember. There were so many toppings. And we got the Mediterranean salad, a large Mediterranean salad. And it was incredible. Great pizzas, great salad, a great weekend lunch. And the Original Italian Pie of Kenner is more than just great pizza. They have salads, sandwiches, calzones, wraps, pasta, and like I said, pizza, no matter what you want. And don't forget, they have incredible appetizers too. Mushrooms stuffed with crab meat, hummus, Italian baked chicken wings, mozzarella sticks, and leave room for dessert. You want the cannoli. You really do. And there's 2 of them, so you can share. Or not. If you really want to ingest all those calories. It's worth it, though. That's the Original Italian Pie of Kenner, 3600 Williams Boulevard, just a little bit north of West Esplanade. Like I said, dine in or call them, 469-4999, and they have your order ready for pickup, or they will deliver to your home or your office.
Now, say my name.
Walt Bonetti.
Welcome back. Thanks again for spending part of your day with the podcast. We've talked a lot about bike lanes in New Orleans and the projected new bike safety program that is coming, and it will be coming. And we're learning more and more every day about what is going on behind the scenes. I've questioned why, with all of the issues surrounding New Orleans, crime, infrastructure, drainage, the sewage and water board, etc., 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 why is bike safety a priority for the Cantrell administration? And now we know, like I said, some of the answers, and we're learning more all the time. These bike lanes are going to cost millions of dollars, and some of that, a large chunk, about $2.6 million, was provided by People for Bikes, a Colorado-based coalition of bike suppliers and retailers. The city matched that $2.6 million and is pledging even more. So once again, you have out-of-state interests infiltrating New Orleans and infiltrating Louisiana and trying to change us and our culture to make our city more bike safe. Now, I've said it before, bikers deserve safety, but so do automobile drivers. Bicyclists and bike advocacy groups claim that New Orleans has a driver-first culture. And why shouldn't it? But now, New Orleans is going to take away even more roadway from cars and allocate that to protected bike lanes. That's going to make an already bad situation even worse in New Orleans for commuters. Not to mention businesses like restaurants and hotels in the hospitality industry and tourism industry that is New Orleans, that thrive on deliveries. How are you going to be able to fit auto traffic, delivery trucks, and a dedicated protected bike lane on a narrow city street in New Orleans? The answer is you're not. And maybe that's the plan. Maybe the plan by these out-of-state groups and big liberal think tanks is to just make things so difficult that we don't even leave our houses. Of course, our houses have to be in projects where we are all cohabitating because single-family housing is racist. Look, I'd love to be able to wake up in the morning, walk to my job, if I could walk, or could walk even that far, walk to the grocery store, do everything without the use of a car. But every now and then you need to. And besides that, if we took away the cars, what would we do with all the Circle Ks? I don't see any bike racks at Circle Ks. I mean, come on. And how can you ride your bike while you're driving along with your big 64-ounce drink that you can't have if you live in New York, of course?
Now, the Walt Bonetti Podcast Dumbass of the Day.
Our dumbass of the day is a 59-year-old Key West, Florida man who was arrested just days after he purchased an $8 million private island. What was he arrested for? For stealing about $300 worth of household items from a Kmart. Andrew Lippy bought various items from Kmart, swapped them out, and then tried to return other things inside the boxes. He bought a Keurig coffee maker and then tried to return it a few days later with a basketball inside of the box instead of the coffee maker. Then he went back to the same store and bought a Hamilton Beach coffee maker and some LED light bulbs. He returned to the store a few hours later and tried to return the items, but this time he swapped the coffee maker for an older one and retaped the box, and he replaced the light bulbs. You buy your own private island, and then you have to go and try to scam Kmart. Nice. A mother and her son are in jail after they caused a commotion at a Walmart in Eau Claire, Wisconsin. And their dog helped out too. 46-year-old Lisa Smith and her son Benny Van, 25, brought their dog Bo to the Walmart. But Bo wasn't on a leash and ran off through the store. Smith started yelling, trying to get Bo's attention and get him to come. But obviously the dog wasn't very well behaved. While Bo the dog was running around, Smith was tearing apart store displays and putting them in her shopping cart. When Walmart staff asked her to leave, she complied, but she left the store and started doing karate moves in the store's parking lot. Meanwhile, her son Benny ran throughout the store and took off all his clothes in the rear of the Walmart and exposed himself to everyone who could see. Bo the dog grabbed a box of Jiffy cornbread mix, put it in his mouth, and left the store. Smith and her son were arrested, but Bo the dog was not charged. A Gulfport, Florida man was arrested after he followed a woman and shot her with a water gun containing his own urine. 71-year-old Joel Benjamin followed a woman who was walking her dog and pulled out a squirt gun and started squirting the woman with his own urine several times. Benjamin admitted to deputies that he did shoot the woman and admitted that he would do it again. Benjamin has been charged with 1 count of battery. Well, that puts a wrap on today's podcast. If you have any comments, questions, suggestions, story ideas, please email waltbradio@gmail.com. Don't forget to support our sponsor, the Original Italian Pie of Kenner. You can dine in at 3600 Williams Boulevard or call them 469-4999 and they'll have your order ready for pickup, or they will deliver to your home or your office. As we tell you every day, please go out and be a blessing. Change someone's life today. You can do it. Thanks for listening.
Walt Bonetti.